They sent a dog into space and she never came back. Not because of some heroic sacrifice, not because she volunteered, but because the Soviet Union needed a headline in 1957. Laika was a literal street hustling stray from Moscow streets, who became the first living creature to ever orbit Earth. And let me tell you right now, humans are the absolute worst neighbors. Because we took the sweetest little girl and handed her a one-way ticket to a cosmic microwave. For Laika, space was an absolute 0 out of 10, do not recommend. In 1957, the space race wasn't a competition anymore, it was a full-blown panic. The Soviet Union had already launched Sputnik 1, and the entire Western world had a collective meltdown. But the first secretary of the Communist Party, Nikita Khrushchev, wanted more. Something alive, something that would really make the Americans lose sleep. He wanted a living creature in orbit, in 4 weeks, to celebrate the 40 years of October Revolution. So where did they look? The freezing, brutal streets of Moscow. See, if you can survive a Russian winter scavenging for scraps while dodging traffic and territorial wolf packs, you've already completed the first few levels of survival. You were already desanitized to extreme stress. So scientists found several dogs and put them in small boxes to see how they handle confinement, spun them in centrifuges to simulate G-force, restricted their food to get them used to the gel nutrition they would consume in orbit. It was a full auditioning process. Like America's Got Talent, except the winner goes to space and loses. Laika made the cut. Small, calm under pressure, photogenic enough, she was the one. Later, one of the lead scientists, Vladimir Yazdovsky, took her home a few days before the launch, to his actual house, to meet and play with his kids, to let her sleep inside, eat some real food and get petted and loved like a real family dog, possibly for the first time in her entire life. Yazdovsky later said, and I need you to actually hear this, "We wanted to do something nice for her." Because the program top scientists didn't even have a return strategy. Sputnik 2 was a literal suicide machine. They never even designed a way for the capsule to re-enter the atmosphere safely. Her save file was deleted before she even boarded. On November 3, 1957, they placed Laika into a capsule called Sputnik 2. The interior was roughly the size of a washing machine. She was strapped in so tightly she could not turn around, could not lie down properly. She had sensors tapped to her body, checking her heart rate, breathing, movement, tracking everything about her, except one thing that actually mattered. During blastoff, the sheer G-force and the deafening roar of the engines sent her into absolute survival mode. Her heart rate tripled to over 240 beats per minute. She was hyperventilating, terrified out of her mind. And then silence. She reached orbit, and weightlessness kicked in. Imagine being a dog who doesn't understand the concept of physics, suddenly floating in total isolation, tapped in a tin can, in this silent, infinite nothingness of space. If that doesn't trigger instant existential crisis, I don't know what does. But for decades, the Soviet Union ran a massive PR campaign claiming Laika lived peacefully in space for a week before being humanely euthanized with poisoned dog food. Yeah, that was a complete lie. In 2002, the truth finally came out. A few hours into the flight, the capsule's primitive thermal control system completely gave up the ghost. The spacecraft started absorbing the raw, unfiltered radiation of the sun, turning Laika's tiny capsule into a literal kitchen oven. Temperature spiked past 40 degrees Celsius. Dehydrated, overheated, and paralyzed with fear, Laika passed away from heat exhaustion and panic just 5 to 7 hours into the mission. Sputnik 2 orbited the Earth over 2,500 times, with Laika's remains inside, before finally burning up in the atmosphere. 5 months later, turning her into a literal shooting star. Years later, Oleg Gazenko, one of the top scientists on the project, expressed deep regret, saying, "The more time passes, the more I'm sorry about it. We should not have done it. We did not learn enough from this mission to justify the death of the dog." Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts down below.